7. Our season starts officially Thursday is our first practice. So this Thursday, August 12th, is our first practice. And this video is kind of just more of a simple one. I haven't seen the kids. We've been in a quiet period since August 1st. So they've been doing a lot of stuff on their own. But kind of like a training outlook for the season coming up. And what I'm going to do is just kind of use this. I could have made a fancy PowerPoint or something like that. But kind of when we get going here, we're going to be doing 10-day block schedules. Instead of doing that traditional Monday through Saturday type of deal, and then taking a lot of times it would be a Sunday, would be typically a program's off day. And the problem I felt like with the day of the week type of program is we get meets on different days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and you get to the standpoint too where certain days of the week become certain workouts, whether it's Mondays like a workout day, a hard interval day, or a long run type of day maybe for most programs. Tuesday ends up being a tempo Tuesday, Wednesday recover, maybe Thursday's another workout day, Friday pre-meet, and Saturday race. The problem you get to the standpoint on that is it really only gives your body 6 to 7 days to fully adapt, depending on when your race schedule is. So we're going to go to a block schedule more with our training, and our training plan is going to be in 10 days. The reason for this is if you do a long run, that's say 90 minutes long, 90 minutes, our body doesn't recognize days of the week. It doesn't recognize that, hey, I've had 6 or 7 days off since my last long run. All our body knows is effort and time and when we allow it to recover. So is it always the best thing to do a longer run once a week? Maybe not always. The 10-day also allows us to get kind of more in before we need to do like the next effort. And the 10-day allows us to go around our race schedule a little more. So then we can be, hopefully, when it comes to races, more focused on being fast and fresh. If we're fast and fresh, I mean, the races are what cross country is about. Too often, do a lot of coaches consider, well, we're training through this. I get that. I understand that. And I completely understand that mindset. But every time you say that to a kid, it degrades the purpose of the race. And I want racing to be our focal point. That's when we get to test ourselves with how we're doing. So the 10-day schedule, what it allows us to do too is incorporate more rest. So then we can do better when it comes to those races. And typically a lot of programs would take rest on, training programs would take rest on maybe Sundays when we can't meet with the kids. But the problem with doing that every Sunday is it doesn't always line up with where your races are at. And the 10-day gives you more flexibility to incorporate those rest days when the student athletes really need it. And some days, yeah, I will ask my student athletes on their own to get a Sunday run in. And we got to think about what's best for our bodies and mind. And when do we have the moments to teach our kids how to be runners, how to race? Are you going to do that after having the kids run a workout or 45-minute run? Their brains are going to shut down. Their brains, anyways, they're going to be mentally fatigued. But the brain starts shifting towards taking care of your body. So we got to have those more freshening days to allow us to, one, teach the kids in a state of mind, but also it's a nice mental break from the grind of running. Running is a huge impact sport. Every step we take, all our body weight is hammering onto the ground. So taking those days off is almost just as important as the stress we put on our body with working out. Because here's a simple formula to success. It's stress plus rest equals growth. The stress part is the workouts. That's the stimulus. What do we want to stress on our bodies that day? The rest is sleep, nutrition. This is just as valuable as this. You need this so this can do its job. So you get growth, and growth is the adaptation your body makes to get better. So these are equal. You can't just run hard one day and then take a day off the next day. But you gotta have the rest part to make the formula work to get growth, that adaptation. And the 10-day schedule allows us to do that more. Now, what I'll be asking my student athletes to do is on those off days of no running is to be doing cross-training. Cross-training. And a lot of times what people think about a recovery day and running, and they still run, is easy effort, slower controlled pace, and really just getting the blood flowing. And is there another format that we can use to get the blood flowing in our runners while also allowing them to get that rest from that stress that we've applied to them? And the day off of running, that taking that pounding off, can be huge. Cross-training has been used by many different athletes. And it allows you to take that impact away with still getting that heart rate up, like we would be if we went for a run. But now we take away all the pounding, and we still get that rich blood flow to get all that acid and toxins and all that out, and allow that good flow to come in. So that cross-training day, it can be aqua jogging and swimming, which kicks my butt. It could be elliptical. It could be biking. It could be those battle ropes even. Whatever gets that heart rate up. But also, it takes away from the grind of running all the time, especially with little nagging things. The reason stress fractures are so common in runners is because of that repetitive pounding. Sometimes I like to think about running as like playing football and constantly getting hit. Football coaches in the new day of age now don't go full pads hitting each other every single day because the body can't hold up. That's when you start having more of those injuries. So we want our kids, through the 10 days, will allow us to be happy, healthy, but also creates a little hunger. Because they want to run. So when you take that day off, the next day they're more enthusiastic, I'm ready to go and run. But also, when you take that day off and you schedule that day off, the day before you take that day off, you can go really, really hard. You don't have to focus on the next day. Sorry, my handwriting sucks. But you don't have to focus on the next day. Oh my God, now I got to do this tomorrow. You can go really hard. And also, especially with long runs, I think it's important sometimes to have a day off before the long run. If you're asking your body to go run 60, 70, 80, 90 minutes, when you get the glycogen depletion benefits from that, taking that day off before, great. The one thing people go with the 7 days to is this big old concept. Well, my mileage. I gotta hit 55 miles per week. I gotta hit 60. I gotta hit 40. My body, my legs, they don't count mileage. This does. After the fact, counts because it can be measured. But there's no proven science that a certain mileage works for anybody. Now, there's some people that run really well in 30 miles. There's some people that can run really well, need 100. But what our body measures What the body measures is time and effort. And that's all our training is going to be gauged off of, is time and effort. That's what our body measures. I can go out and do a tempo run, and I can run it in 6 flat pace. But let's say, I'm a student athlete here, had a big test, didn't go well. Later on that day, girlfriend broke up with me. Dang. Had a peer of mine, a friend, girlfriend broke up with me. Friend was a friend of that girlfriend. We broke it off. Okay? My stress level, extremely high. Now, for me to go run 6-minute pace for maybe a 3-mile tempo could be very difficult with my stress level being high. But I could probably give the same effort and give possibly a 6:15 effort, but my body probably feels like I'm going 6-minute pace. So I get this, I'm getting the same adaptations. The time only defines us really when we race. And it doesn't even define us then. It's about the effort and competing that defines us as we're competing. So that's kind of why with the 10-day, it allows us to focus more on the effort we can give versus the day of the week and I got to hit a certain time, do a certain workout. Yes, our minds and our daily schedules and all that go by the week, but our body doesn't say, hey, it's Monday. I got to do this. Our body just knows, how tired am I? Or what have I do the day before? With the training, too, that you're going to let my student athletes be going through this year, I like to think of the workouts as like hammers. If this marker was a hammer, boom, and I hit a piece of glass, okay? I got my glass like this. I hit it with that hammer. Well, there ends up being a bunch of breaks in it. That's our body after a hard workout, okay? Now, our body has to repair those breaks. The brain tells the body, hey, we got to fix this. The nice part is, with the stress and the effort we gave, the body's going to adapt so our body doesn't fail next time. So we need that time to repair. That's why after a hard effort, or preparing for a hard effort, we got to give our body the time to get that maintenance work done. And that's very underrated in the world of running. We're natural. Me too. I'm the same way. This 10-day philosophy is even with me. I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to do it? We're natural grinders. The grind, unfortunately, sometimes is our downfall. Now, I'm not saying not work hard, but there's your moments when you got to work hard. And there's your moments that you have to take it easier. And there's your moments where a day off, as a coach, giving your kids a day off. Sometimes you got to think, how does that impact us, especially in cross country, when you get to October? Does it have a benefit? Does it have a decrease? Benefit, decrease, or stay the same? If you don't think it's going to decrease and it's going to stay the same, or you have a chance benefit, why not? Why not? So out of a 10-day period, me as a coach, my goal, and I even said this to our parent meeting, is to have 2 or 3 days off of running. So I can have time to teach the kids. We can have time to do extra recovery tools, ice bath. We can do more rope stretches. We can do more foam rolling. Okay, we can do a lot of those teaching moments. Talk about nutrition, everything like that. But it allows that mental break. We can also do a good weight training session because we're not running and pounding on the ground. So we can do that more as well. So the 10-day real philosophy is, it just allows us to extend it further out. In a 10-day period, the nice thing is you can block out the season more, so we have like 6.5 blocks. With that last half block just really allowing the body to get prepped up. for the state meet. The nice thing about blocking it off too is it allows you to have focuses on what you want to enrich or enhance and what you want to maintain in that block. So you might go 2 blocks of we want VO2 max to be higher. We want to work our speed more. Or we want to hit acidosis more. So, and we might, hey, this is a block period. Maybe block, 4 is always kind of a great one there, where we want to get our bodies more recovered. Now in that block, I have mini blocks that we do for 5 days. And it allows you as a coach, me as a coach, to look at my athletes and what they need. I can assess them in the moment and go, okay, here's what our bodies need. That's what the 10-day allows that flexibility for. You might go, hey, here's the plan, but on a typical day, you might go, that's a Wednesday, we got to do this. You might go, and hey, we're actually doing pretty well. Let's do another hard effort here, and maybe the next day take the day off. Be flexible with that. That's what the 10-day allows for more, too, is that flexibility with the runners. And there's nothing wrong with cross-training. There's been many guys, Dathan Ritzenheim, big-time cross-trainer, even before he got hurt, high school. Alan Webb, big-time swimmer back in high school. Okay, now you got to do the running part, too. Don't get me wrong. You can't just cross-train all the time and expect to show up. Do well, but if you get hurt, that cross-training and being great and already doing it, you can just continue that. So you can maintain that cardio ability. Some things we want to fit into that 10-day period, of course, is that longer type run. We'd also want to fit in 1 to 2 of kind of more speed sessions. Now we'll get aerobic ability after it. The importance of the 1 to 2 speed sessions, though, is it allows us to have proper mechanics and that ground force production of pushing off the ground. And I think speed is critical to do all year. So we got 1 to 2 of those. So now we're at 3 days. 1 really hard effort. Okay, this is where aerobic threshold, lactate threshold, acidosis, where our bodies are really looking to fail. Also, probably going to be we're going to have a race in there. Some weeks might be 2. Okay, so there's a race in there. So as of right now, we're at for sure 4, and there's 5. We're only halfway through. Perhaps want to add another more of like a moderate type day, one that's not going to dig into the well. Maybe 1 to 2 of those, so now we're at 7. You take 2 to 3 days off. There's your 10. You maybe have 2 days in there, or 1 or 2, that are just more of those aerobic type runs. And the big thing is, so we got that longer run, we got that speed, we got that racing, really hard effort. We got that race in there. And we might have 1 or 2 are moderate, 2 to 3 days off cross-training, and maybe 1 or 2 aerobic just runs. And the big thing this 10-day allows too is to have the quality be higher, because you have those focus days off. Kind of my big philosophy with easy. At the beginning of the season, you gotta have some easy runs. Gotta have that. But easy should be for longer runs, which should be challenging anyways, or before and after moderate hard. Because easy, the quality of our biomechanics goes down. Probably don't push off the ground as well. Probably don't focus on our arms as well. You don't need to run as effectively or efficiently to be successful at it. So could the easier type workouts be leading more to the issues of the stress fractures, the injuries, possibly. So I'll kind of get off my training rant here, and if you have any more questions, my email is below. Look to have a great season. Start Thursday. And I'll tell you, the first thing we're going to start with, because it gets the body going, speed. Some people go easy run. Some people do that. It is better to get the body started on the right note biomechanically than not. So, athletes, see you Thursday. Everybody else, come out and support our first meet, August 27th. The videos will get so much better now in the regular season. I can add some more races to inside RHS cross country. All right, everybody. See ya.